December 2013. I don't know where the idea to walk the entire length of the Nile came from. It was a question I'd been asked 100 times or more by well-meaning family, friends, and the occasional journalist in the weeks before I set out on the expedition. I'd given each of them a different answer, but all of them were true. When George Mallory was asked by a reporter from the New York Times why he wanted to climb Mount Everest, he retorted with perhaps the 3 most famous words in mountaineering history, "Because it's there." In the end, I could think of no better way to express the singular urge that drove me to Africa. I wanted to follow in a great tradition, to achieve something unusual and inspire in others the thirst to do the same. Much of my motivation was selfish, of course, to go on the greatest adventure of my life, to see what people can only dream about, and test myself to the limits. But ultimately, it came down to one thing. The Nile was there, and I wanted to walk it. I sat in a truck rising high through the Rwandan hills. Even now that same question was buzzing in my ear. The man sitting beside me was staring out of the window, looking smart in a green polo shirt, his hair closely cropped. He smiled as the banana plantations passed us by. I liked Boston because he hadn't asked why. Boston was different. He instinctively knew that those who have to ask why would never understand. Nadul Boston, descendant of Nogumbirwa, king of the Nyanja, was to be my guide for the first leg of this journey, and he was more interested in the practicalities of our mission. "How far is it?" he said, as the green expanse of the Niuenwe rainforest came into view. 4,000 miles. 4,250 miles, to be precise, and that didn't even include the diversions we were bound to have to make in trying to cross the river's most inhospitable domains. We had driven all day yesterday and camped in these rain-drenched hills, but this morning the wait was almost at an end. Mist seeped through the forest as we rose, but occasionally we'd burst through one of the reefs and I could see the forest dropping steeply away beneath us. It was, I knew, almost time. At last the car came to a halt on the very edge of the Niuenwe forest. It was known locally as the buffer zone, an expanse of planted pines and eucalyptus, trees alien to Africa but introduced in colonial times to meet the growing need for firewood. Stepping out of the truck, I got to thinking how very English it all looked, like a tiny piece of Staffordshire plucked up and planted on top of the indigenous tropical forest. Under other circumstances it might have been disappointing, but not for me, not today.